Hello everyone. First of all, I just want to apologise for anyone that was excited to watch me stream the Game Awards last night. There was a bit of a technical oversight on my part and some technical difficulties that meant that I couldn't stream it in the end. And once again, I'm reminded that I really need to upgrade my laptop ASAP to a PC or something better, okay? So I had actually already filmed a video that was going to go up today, but I need to make this video because I have things to talk about, specifically regarding a game announcement that happened at the Game Awards, or well, two game announcements, which I'll get into in a minute. So I'll start off with like a recap of the award show and mostly like the awards, I guess. And then I'll get into the announcements and stuff that I wanted to talk about. So the Game Awards obviously were very long. I did watch the whole thing, even though I wasn't streaming it. I watched literally the whole lot from start to finish. And as someone who was into K-pop for a long time and watched things like music award shows and things like that, I genuinely think that the Game Awards are honestly pretty good. Yes, it's very long, but I think there's a reason why so many people watch it. Like the Game Awards, compared to a lot of other award shows from other industries, is actually pretty good. Like they actually put effort in to make it really kind of fun and interesting and get you hyped when they announce a game, and they do this whole spectacle and stuff, you know, and it's really good. I think Jeff is a good host, and you can tell he's actually passionate about games, which is always a really good plus. I genuinely think that they're good. Yes, they drag a bit because they go on for a long time and they announce so many games, and obviously the majority of us aren't going to be interested in all the games that are announced, myself included. But as expected, Expedition 33 swept the award show. They won almost every award they were nominated for, except for I think literally just one they didn't win, but I can't remember which one it was. They won Game of the Year, as they should. Sandfor Interactive genuinely deserved it. Expedition 33 is a great game. I have nothing else to say on the matter really. I was happy that they won. And that's about it. As always, when they presented the nominees for the Game of the Year, they had the orchestra playing music from each of the games that were nominated, and that was really good. That's one of my favourite parts of the Game Awards. Then moving into game announcements, so that for the most part there weren't really any new announcements that I was particularly interested in. There was two, like I said, that I'm going to get into in a sec, that I'm very excited for. There was two Star Wars games announced. I'm not really a Star Wars person, so I'm happy for Star Wars fans, but I was kind of like, they look good. I don't know if I would play them. There was a whole load of games. There was a lot of sci-fi kind of themed games that were announced, actually. The theme of the night was science fiction, I guess. It was getting quite deep into the award show, and I knew that there was still some big announcements that were coming. Jeff kept teasing that there was going to be a new Tomb Raider game. I was like, oh my God, okay. and they kept that for towards the end, of course, just, you know, keeping me on the edge of my seat the whole time. There was this game called Divinity that was announced, which was... It was very graphic. It was honestly quite disturbing. I was kind of sitting there like, oh, that was very brave and bold of them to show that at the Game Awards, I guess. Very gory and graphic. That game isn't for me. That has crossed a line for me. That's just too graphic and gory. That's too much for me. But I'm happy for anyone that does like that sort of thing. Good for you. I hope you enjoy that game. But anyway, not long after that shock, we got a new trailer or some more footage for RE9, Resident Evil Requiem, which looked really good. I know that I haven't played any of the Resident Evil games yet, but I was already quite excited about RE9. because it just, when it was announced, it looked really good. And now we know that Leon is going to be in the game as well as a playable character, which makes it even better. So now my hype for that game has increased astronomically. So yeah, look forward to RE2 and RE4 streams on my channel in like the coming months, probably early next year at some point. They will be happening because I need to have played those 2 games at least before RE9 comes out. That's just what I've decided I'm gonna do. And then I will play RE9. So very excited about that as well. It looked really good. And now, for honestly the main thing that I really want to talk about, this is the reason why I had to make this video, because Tomb Raider, I had heard that they were going to be rebooting the franchise again. Yes, this is not the first time it's been rebooted. They rebooted Tomb Raider in the 2010s with the Survivor trilogy, as we keep referring to it as. We refer to it as the Survivor trilogy because it's kind of like, they're more like survival games than they are Tomb Raider games, I guess. Yes, they're Tomb Raider games, but they're survivor games, you know, like, and I haven't actually played those, but they're just very different to all of the Tomb Raider games that came before. But then they also did a reboot in the 2000s on the PS2 with the Legend trilogy. Technically, that was also a reboot. So yeah, so this is like the 3rd reboot at this point. And I was kind of like, I was very apprehensive because I'm someone who grew up playing Tomb Raider. The first Tomb Raider game that I played was Tomb Raider 2. And I have vivid memories of watching my dad playing it as a kid. And I would sit there and watch him try and figure out how to get out of rooms and how to progress through the game. Because the thing with Tomb Raider is she's in all of these tombs, in all of these areas where you have to figure out essentially how to open certain doors, or how can you get up to that platform up there. You know, there's all of this stuff going on. It's the old Tomb Raider games were platformers, very much so. That was like the main aspect of Tomb Raider. The first ones was they were platformers with puzzle elements in them, and they're like, the puzzle elements were honestly really quite hard. Sometimes it was really difficult to figure out how to get past certain sections of the game. And I remember my dad struggling quite a lot in certain areas. Me and my mum would sit there and say, what about if you go over to that wall there? Is that a switch? Oh, is that a lever over there? What if you go up that way and do this? You know, all that sort of thing. Me and my mum were very invested in trying to help my dad. And eventually I remember that he let me have the controller and he let me play as well. And I would have been, 8 or something, which I know is very young to be playing a Tomb Raider game. But I mean, Tomb Raider 2, PlayStation 1 graphics, it doesn't look particularly real, you know? So I think we were okay. And I turned out all right. So yeah, so to me, Tomb Raider is a very special and quite an important video game franchise for me personally, because Tomb Raider is what got me into gaming in the first place, specifically Tomb Raider 2. Then on the PS2, I played Tomb Raider Legend and Tomb Raider Anniversary, and I really liked those games as well. So that reboot I really enjoyed. And then, and I can't remember how old I would have been, but I would have been very young then still. I think I was literally about 12 or 13, maybe a little bit younger than that. Really enjoyed those games as well, and it just felt like a natural progression from what Tomb Raider was initially. But then the Survivor trilogy, I'm sure they're good games and I want to play them. I really want to play them because I know also that they're supposed to be like a prequel to the first Tomb Raider. So they're like the Tomb Raider origin story, the origins of Lara Croft and how she became the Tomb Raider. So I do want to play them, but they are very, very different to the games that I played as a child. And I just remember being really quite disappointed as a teenager when I saw what they were doing with this Tomb Raider reboot in the 2010s, and it just wasn't what I had wanted as a Tomb Raider fan. And again, I'm sure they're good, okay? I can't judge whether they're good or not because I haven't played them. So I'm not saying that they're not good games. I'm just saying that they took the Tomb Raider franchise in a direction that I wasn't on board with at the time. But over time, as I've gotten older, I've gotten more open-minded about the whole thing, and I'm willing to play them. And I kind of just accepted that Tomb Raider would never go back to what it was when I was a kid, outside of the remasters that we've been getting that I love. They're great. So going back to this announcement, I'd heard that they were rebooting Tomb Raider again, and I was kind of like, what are they going to do now? Like, what is the point in a reboot unless they're going back to more of the classic Tomb Raider, and it's going to be something more along those lines. So that's what I was hoping for. That's what I wanted it to be, and that is what it is. I'm very happy to say that it looks amazing. It's literally what I had wanted the 2010s Survivor Trilogy era Tomb Raider to be. Just coming from the classic Tomb Raider games from the 90s and then the Legend Trilogy from the 2000s, I had a certain image of what I thought Tomb Raider would be in the future, with like more modern graphics and, you know, what Lara's character model would look like and all of that. And I'm not like super fussy with how I want Lara to look. You know, I just want her to be very like clearly Lara Croft, so that you can recognize elements from her original character design in the original PlayStation games. And that's what they did. So she's got her blue tank top on, or whatever you want to call it. She's got her shorts on. She looks like Lara. Anyway, I need to reel this back a little bit. So they showed Tomb Raider Catalyst first, and it was basically, I think, all just like cinematic CGI footage, I think, but it looked very good. And I was like, okay, this looks very promising. And then I thought that was it, but then they showed something else, which initially I thought was more footage of that same game. But then I realized as I was watching it, wait a minute, these areas are from the first Tomb Raider game, because I've played the first Tomb Raider game since then. I've played Anniversary and the first Tomb Raider game. So I recognized the areas. I was like, oh my God, it's a remake of the first Tomb Raider game. And then I was confused. So I was like, is this 2 games? What is going on? Yes, it's 2 games. Tomb Raider Catalyst, which is coming in 2027, and Tomb Raider: The Legend of Atlantis, which is coming next year, which I'm very excited about. So I love the first Tomb Raider game. I played it on the remastered trilogy. I played through it for the first time last year because I had never played the first Tomb Raider game. I played Tomb Raider 2 as a kid. Granted, I didn't finish it, but I played it a lot as a kid, even though I never completed the game. I like you can't expect an 8-year-old to finish Tomb Raider 2, okay? But the other thing is they made a remake during the PS2 era of the first Tomb Raider game, which is Tomb Raider Anniversary. And I really like Tomb Raider Anniversary as well. I think it's good. So it looks like they're literally incorporating elements from all of the generations of Tomb Raider. So the classic era, which was on PlayStation, they've definitely got elements from the Legend trilogy in there, like she's got her grapple hook. There's certain gameplay mechanics and platforming elements that were added into the Legend trilogy that are present in this remake. I was very apprehensive going into this, but I'm genuinely excited now because it actually looks good. And I was very sort of skeptical about it. At first, I'm not going to lie, I was quite skeptical about it. I wasn't sure how it was going to go. I don't like to get overexcited or get my hopes up about things too much in case it doesn't turn out to be how I want it to be. But yeah, like I said, it looks great and I'm genuinely excited for it. And it's coming out next year. This is amazing. This is what teenage me always wanted. This is literally the game that I had imagined in my childhood come to life. Like, they finally created my dream Tomb Raider game. Although maybe it's a bit too early to say that, because yes, it looks amazing, but I shouldn't judge a game too much until I've played it, you know? Don't want to get too overexcited about it, but it does genuinely look very good and I'm very excited. It looks like they've kind of understood what it is that Tomb Raider fans want from the franchise. Anyway, I'm going to stop rambling about it. That's basically what I wanted to talk about in this video. I know that it's not a proper recap of the Game Awards or anything, but I didn't really have many thoughts about anything else from the award show. Those are the main things that caught my attention. So those are the main things that I've talked about as a result. If you watched the Game Awards, let me know what you thought in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye!